Chapter 6 Loose Ends. On the 28th of the 7th moon, the caravan returned to Rakosis through the northern gate. Taking some time to regain their bearings in town, the crew learned from their innkeep Ziad Zia that Nanako had left Rakosis not long ago, after turning up nothing but dead ends in her investigations. None of their other contacts seemed to have discovered anything new of the Mon or Mufaz. Akash informed the crew of his decision to remain in Rakosis, feeling the need to tend to the recent troubles with his mine and business. After Kasumi was released from his contract with Akash, he approached the captain to express his wish to continue on with the crew of Viz Leany if she would have him. Sitara was willing to keep him on, though with the caveat that he would never again involve the crew in Brotherhood matters, to which Kasumi agreed. Since Mufaz was presumed dead, the landlord Khurshid gave the crew first claim on items of the sage's estate as a gesture of goodwill and recompense for their missing property. Using Alim's mirror and monocle, they spent the day examining the sage's collection of objets d'art and odd curios, as well as his impressive library. They noted several items of interest, though none matching the power or value of the lost Mon. Kasumi managed to locate a stash of coins of various currencies, but was disappointed to find that the texts on religious and mythological topics he was most interested in were likely stolen with the Mon. Messi found a Menzokan Oni mask, which presented a benevolent face when turned upside down, as well as a statuette depicting the Tatoan god, and books on Menzokan families and fairy tales. Sitara discovered texts of sailors' tales, ship's logs, and map folios, as well as books on engraving and poetry. She also rescued an Awami dreamcatcher lying unused on a shelf, and was struck by a strange half-mask of a woman's face whose hair hung over the empty side. Khurshid was quite amenable to their selections, and somewhat surprised they had left him with appraisals of his former tenant's inventory, and given over the sage's hidden funds.
A few days after their return to Rakosis, Messi ventured back to the Swaying Serpent to inquire about Sarai with the bartender. He implied that Messi might have better luck if she returned around lunchtime tomorrow. The next day, Messi returned to a slightly more crowded tavern and placed an order before taking a seat. When the barkeep brought her drink, he discreetly relayed that Sarai would be available later that afternoon at the same place they had met before. Messi continued eating until a server approached her with a burning question. The young man inquired if she was a Tatoan warrior whom Sarai had stood against in a test of blades during the festival of High Sun. When Messi confirmed his suspicions, he could not seem to contain his excitement as he became rather loud and animated. His outburst quickly drew the attention of the other patrons, but before he could follow up with more questions, the bartender shouted, "Farouk!" He apologized and hurried back to the bar, leaving Messi uncomfortably avoiding the gaze of the entire tavern, including 3 rough-looking men in the corner who were now eyeing her with both interest and perhaps respect. When Messi finished her meal, she swiftly left and headed for the southern gate. Returning to the same secluded clearing as before, Messi expressed her interest in learning the particular sword art Sarai practiced. With a look from her Menzokan companion, the swordswoman indicated that she was no master herself, and it was not her place to teach it, and Messi resigned herself to a sparring match, though she was still recovering from her experience in the mine. They shared their respective outlooks on martial discipline and battle, as well as their intentions in the festival competition. Sarai indicated that she had sought the attention and favor of the jinn. Victory was only the means to the point. Messi had acted upon her appreciation of the Ashib culture, affirmed she had also sought to give her dues to the jinn, and expounded upon how her understanding of the divine had developed over the course of her travels. She emphasized the need to respect the gods and spirits, citing what she had learned from Akash's relationship with the temple priest and his involvement with the Brotherhood as an example of inviting divine wrath. With regards to the Brotherhood, Sarai seemed satisfied to learn that Akash had apparently wanted to recruit her to his faction before someone else did. though she clearly did not deign to join their ranks, only subcontract, so to speak. When Sarai inquired after her future plans, Messi revealed her plans to visit the Free Isles and make contact with expatriates there to garner allies, and perhaps eventually conquer the unconquered city. Intrigued by Messi's new ambitions, Sarai also agreed to a contract to keep an eye and ear out for the crew's missing Menzocan artifact, or Mafuz, until Viz Leany next made port in Rakosis.
As soon as the party returned to the City of Sails, Kasumi set to work in pursuing his minuscule clue from the saboteurs' camp. He first tried to match the fragment of the symbol to crests of government buildings and local companies, followed by symbols and figures, but nothing quite matched. Kasumi asked many a poor soul if the fragment looked familiar, and while some thought they had seen something similar, no one could place it. Feeling desperate, Kasumi finally decided he must go to the one place that he really didn't want to: the temple. Not only had he and Akash disrespected the priesthood by keeping them on, but they had then lost it. Kasumi thought it unlikely the priest would be able to help him, even if they felt so inclined. However, Kasumi felt obligated to go ask forgiveness for his actions, and forced himself to make this pilgrimage. Bringing the monkey statue and the goblet he had won from the competitions during the Festival of High Sun, Kasumi made his way to the temple. Nervous of his surroundings, Kasumi made his way up the steps and under the elaborate archway into the temple. Gingerly setting his prizes down as offerings at the altar, Kasumi took a moment to ask the Jinn for forgiveness, and sent out a silent cry for help. He needed to find these attackers. He needed to ensure that justice would be had. After his prayer, he arose and found the nearest priest to ask for guidance. Apologizing profusely for his previous disrespect, Kasumi asked for aid in his quest of retribution. The priest, feeling he would need someone with more experience, excused himself momentarily. Kasumi's stomach dropped as the priest returned with the very man that Kasumi and Akash had refused to give them on over to. Upon recognizing Kasumi, the priest was initially annoyed, until Kasumi explained the situation and begged his forgiveness. The priest agreed to see what they could do to help Kasumi, but as expected, neither recognized the fragment. Failing to provide a solution, the priest offered to pray to the Jinn to assist Kasumi in his journey. Before Kasumi made to leave, the priest suggested once more that he should really turn over the mon, to which the accountant sheepishly admitted that it had been stolen. The priest was not impressed. Kasumi could do little more than swear that he would attempt to find the mon in his travels, promising to do the right thing and bring the mon back to the temple.
Messi began to anxiously ponder her last meeting with the Taotoan revolutionaries at their warehouse. She wondered about the mysterious individual whom Raptors appeared to be consulting with behind the crates, until her constant dwelling finally drove her to seek answers before setting sail. Messi shared with the captain her desire to travel to the Free Isle, where many Taotoan refugees and expatriates lived, as well as her intention to meet with Raptors again. Satara and Kasumi accompanied Messi to the shrine where they met before and waited until Ileana showed up. Hesitant to start with her inquiry about the person behind the crates, Messi opened with offering to pass along any messages since they would be sailing to the Free Isles soon. Taken aback by the gesture, Ileana replied that she would need to consult with Raptors for more details. Deciding to test the waters further, Messi asked her who it was the expatriates were protecting in the warehouse. While her response was evasive, as usual, Ileana told them to expect Raptors to be in touch with them shortly.